that we have for them will be answered right now. Is the Gangplank going to be banned away first on the blue side, which is interesting. Taken away from Element as the Gnar is going to hit the bench as well. So there's the standard bans gone, and we'll see where we're going to mix it up.
This is always fun to... the Kennen ban taken away as well. But
Rampage.
But yeah, love the top lane picks because at that point, then the question is, what do they go towards next? Especially since Gnar is gone, GP is gone. That really means that the Maokai that we have been seeing, the Aurelia, might see comebacks. So nice, going to be interesting.
Yeah, well, Talia, Vladimir, both banned away. Might mean a Malzahar possible first pick here if Roki wants to stick with the champions that he's been playing so far. Already had 2 games on Malzahar so far, but it is going to be Rek'Sai getting through. He's going to be locked away as Tahm Kench was the final ban there for Kaos Latin Gamers.
I really love Rek'Sai because it is the bridge between... Don't do it, buddy.
Stito, what are you doing to us?
Here's the thing. He's always been hovering that pick, and I really do feel like...
He's trolling?
He's trolling his teammate. He's just rubbing it in his face. But with the Rek'Sai pick, it's great for Tussle simply because it is a bridging force where you can be very aggressive early and continues to utilize your farming style, get to your damage items. So it has been great. It's worked really well for SOFM and LPL, and it could work in Tussle style as well. Yeah,
you're exactly right. And you actually mentioned to us before the fact that he does have a very heavily farming style. Now with Rek'Sai, I mean, you farm so quickly, you can be a ganker as well. You're going to run out of jungle.
That's true. And on top of that, the fact that his passive really allows him to walk into the enemy jungle, see what's going on. Him and Dara, they already have great warding presence that they can really carry it out with this pick alone. So I do love that focus.
And Julio Stito is going to switch back to the Ashe as Echo's locked in for Element towards the top side of the map. Very standard at the moment.
You know, the Ashe pick is what demolished him in lane with when he was playing Kalista. So now that's just a double whammy. Not only did he hover the Kalista pick, that he just ended with the Ashe. So you know what? This is your pick from now on.
That's the dream. But Dara is thinking about picking up the Alistar. Shen already locked away for Paz. Will mean a massive front line for this team.
Oh, so see, this is... I feel like Kaos Latin Gaming, it's either they didn't do their due diligence, their work to really see what's given Rampage their success, or they're just afraid of these picks, of course. They don't want the Gnar, Vladimir, and Tahm Kench going through. But we've seen the Alistar bans because Dara's setup and team fighting has been incredible throughout the tournament with it. And Shen is fantastic. So not only is it fantastic for Paz, but on top of that, he has a great matchup. We were talking about the fact that Rampage should be picking proper matchups so at least they can get through the laning phase, which they've usually been falling flat in.
Yeah.
But now that he's going up against Echo and he can constantly trade very well into the Echo pick, the 3 damage procs coming from Echo to really get the most trades working his way won't happen when you have that nice circle of, I don't want to say call it silence, but dodge, I suppose, the dodge mechanic of Shen.
Yeah.
So great work here. I think already we're seeing good things. Okay.
Right. Kindred is going to be locked away. Julio Stito is going to be taking that one into the jungle.
Interesting. On Janna's? Okay. Drafting has been...
Look, there is nothing wrong with a bit of Janna every now and again. I think it works out okay with an Ashe. You're a heavy disengaged support with a relatively immobile champ. Tailwind's going to be working out well, Raz.
I'm going to mention what Kaos Latin's trying to do right now. Their team
please,
composition.
Roki, do it. Don't play with my heart.
Their team composition is fairly good. It's a circle composition. Whenever Kalista does get, not Kalista. Kindred does get her ulti down. Janna's ulti is going to be able to disperse them from that circle, so they can actually kill them. And on top of that, so there's a lot of zoning presence. Echo can really top that off with the stun in his circle as well. So they do have interesting team fighting. The problem is going to be that the fact that they don't have many tanks at all, so it's going to be difficult to play around.
It's going to be all about kiting. I mean, they do have a lot of kite potential,
yeah,
but that is all they can do.
Yeah.
Against so much hard engage and dive potential coming out of Rampage right now with the Alistar, with the Shen. I mean, you've got flash knockups from Rek'Sai as well. Not to mention now, Jin's been picked up, so curtain call for engage options, as well as LeBlanc being able to pop over a wall through anything and annihilate anyone she wants to.
Exactly. So Janna is going to be the prime focus with this LeBlanc pick, where as the game goes on, Janna has to watch out where she's going, if she's going to be doing the warding out with Kindred, because both of them, doesn't matter if it's a 2v1, if LeBlanc catches them, she will pop them.
Yeah.
So the fact that this is an incredibly squishy composition coming out of this team, they then are just working off the fact that their lanes are really good for them. Sure, top lane isn't really a proper matchup, but he's going to be shoving in constantly, or at least shoving in the Shen.
Yep.
So they have a shoving top lane, a shoving bottom lane with this Ashe and Janna. So Ashe, Janna, right now that's the bane of Alistar's existence. So
Oh, yeah.
at least Kaos Latin Gaming's laning phases are proper for them. They're going to be really working off that fact. And Kindred, a pick we don't see very often, should be showing a lot of presence, counter juggling quite frequently, which has been Julio Stito's style so far, picking up Nidalee primarily.
Yeah, and as we actually have a look at this featured matchup, Tussle versus Julio Stito does make a lot of sense because, of course, Tussle has been the carry for this Rampage squad, and Julio Stito has been able to get around in the early game and get things going on here for KLG. Unfortunately, just haven't been able to find a victory afterwards because they just tend to fall behind. But if he can go aggressive, if he can find these early kills, it could be an opportunity here for the team. It's just so difficult because, I mean, I'm looking down what you were talking about as the squishy roster, but it just looks so hard to execute. Now with Karma picked up in the mid lane as well, I mean, it's all about disengage, all about kite, all about being sneaky and engaging only when you know that you can get what you want. Like, just seems hard, man.
Here's the focus. It's going to be primarily it's going to be snowballing based off vision. If Kaos Latin Gaming ever lose vision control, then they will have problems with the pick potential coming out of LeBlanc. Callista, I always say Callista for whatever reason. Jhin.
Yeah, you just like Callista. You're just looking for it. But we are
love
on to Summoner's Rift, ladies and gentlemen, as Rampage going to be on our blue side, taking on Kaos Latin Gamers for our first game of day number 4. It is going to be a Cloud Drake, so a little bit overcast to begin the day. Of course, very early here, so I assume, often a bit of cloud cover, and hopefully we'll be able to see some infernals, oceans, and mountains further on the day.
Yeah, but if Kaos Latin Gaming can get the early lanes going for them, if they can continue that aggression, that pressure early on in the game, then they should be able to close out. It just comes back to the fact that they cannot lose pressure at all this game, or they will get picked apart.
Yeah, at any stage. Well, Jhin Alistar, of course, combo-wise, a terrifying lane to deal with, but should be able to be dealt with quite effectively by Fox and Bear.
It's a Thunderlord's Alistar too, so the
fact trample Thunder.
Yeah, so the trample Thunder. So all-ins are going to be quite scary, especially if it's on Janna early, because sure, Ashe and Janna will be shoving out that lane, constantly poking with the extra AD the shield's going to be giving Ashe. But if they find themselves a little bit caught out like Baron, but of course they're not at level 2. They're just trying to zone them away from the wave.
And Dara just does not care at all. Just walks up, hoofs her in the head. That's how you deal with it, Janna.
Just smack him.
Put your hooves in. So they are going to be able to make it there. Everything going to be okay. Meron just farming things out. Julio Stito now on his red buff. Tussle doing exactly the same thing as he knocks that one up in the sky. We'll be able to take that one down quite easily. So as things settle in the laning phase, we've got half health on our bottom lane here for RPG. They will just triumphantly roar themselves back up to hopefully some normalcy as far as that one's concerned.
Yeah, and level 2 is going to be so impactful here. Janna and Ashe should be able to reach that much faster.
There it is.
There we go. So they're going to be zoning them away from the wave completely, because if Dara ever gets level 2, Dara and Marion gets level 2, then their combination is, of course, active. They can just take over the lane from that point forward, but should be fairly difficult, especially since both of them did take... Well, actually... Marin and Dara, fairly certain they took the Krugs.
No, I believe they just started them up for Tussle and then moved to lane.
Ah, okay. So both of them didn't even take him.
Yeah,
they just got denied from the wave.
Not happening. As Julio Stito actually skipped his Raptor camp, I believe. Skipped his Wolves as well, so made sure that he got both of his buffs before getting anything else done, as cool guys don't look at explosions, especially when they're Rift Scuttlers. Tussle, of course, clearing a lot more quickly and a lot more... I guess, thoroughly on his way through.
So Rampage's top lane is going to be a lot more safer and a lot more threatening for Kaos Latin Gaming, because not only did Tussle was Tussle able to get these Scuttle Crab in the area, but Element simply hasn't been trading well.
Well, at the moment you can see, yeah, Tussle makes it to the Krug camp right as they spawn. You were mentioning the fact that, Tussle, some similarities with SOFM. Actually seen SOFM do this multiple times. Just loves a good Krug camp, knows exactly when they're going to respawn based on a Krug start from the enemy jungler. So, right prediction here for Tussle.
Now, this was kind of unfortunate for Rampage. They could have gotten that gank off if Shen had initiated with the taunt, because Tussle was in the right spot at the right time. But, of course, he walks into vision. They probably didn't know that was warded. And so Elements was able to back off completely. No gank on him.
Yeah, no dice this time around as Dara and Marin with a decent-sized minion wave. Now looking to just clear things up. Howlingale finds Marin and Dara, actually. The volley flies through as well. Down to 300 health now on the Jhin. And this lane just showing exactly why it was picked up.
That was just great Janna mechanics. You don't talk about Janna mechanics a lot.
Janna mechanics?
Janna mechanics. Not a lot of people play the champion overall, but that's one way to play her. If you can get the Q off, the nice tornado, then that's a really long CC, honestly. So, Poe coming down, Jin's going to be feeling it.
Yeah.
Of course, he's in an Alistar lane, so Alistar's just going to spam the heal.
That's the first mark, actually, coming out from Julio Stito. Tussle moves past. Nice chains land here from Roki, though. Gets himself the tether, but Plugo just shields himself up. He's going to be absolutely fine.
Yeah, this is just really, A, it's a difficult lane for LeBlanc, but B, should be a difficult side for Tussle to clear on. Not only are they going up against an Ashe who can constantly throw out that arrow to check on where they are, get as much vision control on Tussle's pathing, but Julio Stito should have the ability to just walk in and skirmish Tussle because Karma's going to be constantly shoving in, and the Kaos Latin Gaming's bottom lane should constantly have pressure.
Yeah. Tussle actually, I believe, possibly spotted out here as Element. Still struggling here against Paz, who's staying very healthy. Grasp of the Undying, of course, helping him out there. Has his shield. Should still be able to shove this wave through, but I mean, the fact that Shen is having such a good time doesn't bode well, Kaos Latin Gamers.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a good lane for Shen. Can always force the trades, especially since both of them are melee matchups, and he definitely does. Elements definitely does require the few auto attacks, the third auto attack proc, to really get the proper trades going. But Shen, of course, will always look to deny that.
Well, you can see Roki utilizing that blue buff, just throwing down as many spells as he can onto Plugo. But that wave's still going to get shoved. The power of Akama, ladies and gentlemen. Actually took Ignite as well. What a beast.
Yep. Could take any trade. Of course, Roki won't be looking for those trades, especially not since he has Ignite as well.
Yeah, both of them. This Element will be able to get the stun here onto Paz. Both of them shielding themselves up. Timewinder doesn't find the second tick. Paz just is ignoring him.
Yeah, it looks like Rampage is going to be looking topside for this gank. Elements does have ulti, though.
Yeah, Tussle, can he get the knock-up is the question. There it is. Underneath the turret, though, as in goes Roki, lands the chain. Flash comes out, but still gets the tether. And back Roku goes.
You could tell there was a bit of a communication problems on Rampage side because they went in. Tussle decided it was not necessary. Roki came in. Of course, that baited Elements back towards him, so I guess he had to lose Flash for that.
That was a Q.
That was nice.
Fair bit of damage. Element back towards the top side. Does have himself his Dark Seal, as well as a cheeky Ruby Crystal, Sapphire Crystal, and Doran's Ring. Roki now down to his passive, actually.
This is a bad sign for Kaos Latin Gaming. They should be ahead gold-wise, and at the same time, Kindred should be constantly looking to skirmish and find this Tussle on this champion in his jungle, but he's been fairly safe, farming up constantly. Kindred has just been, honestly, just farming up his jungle peacefully, which should not be happening. They should be keeping up the pressure.
Yeah, and Tussle actually just helping shove out this lane so that Roki can go back, grab himself some items. He is still ahead in farm by over 10 CS, despite getting a fair bit of harass. Element going aggressive onto Paz, who does have his Spectre's Cowl, so just laughing off the damage, to be honest.
Yeah, he's going to be fine. And as the game goes on, Right now, Rampage is in a perfect position. So now the question is, how's Kaos Latin Gaming going to be taking the team fights? Janna should be the primary focus, especially since she's such a great disengaged tool to really allow her team to kite backwards.
Yeah, a bit of an opportunity potentially on the bottom side here for Kaos Latin Gamers before Dara gets his ultimate.
The worst
Bear,
thing
of course,
about
has them on soon.
the worst thing about being a Janna in this situation, though, is of course Marin on this Jhin able to always look to pop her, stun her down. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, Tussle looking for it. Doesn't go for it though, despite his name, Element.
Not looking for that tussle.
No, it's a bit sad. But in goes the Mimic Distortion. Plugo gonna get chained up. Takes a fair bit of damage.
I just realized this is the chain lane.
Yeah, chain gang.
The chain gang is real.
I like it.
Of course, LeBlanc's chain is stronger.
So many chains.
We're talking about 2 chains. Could be a 3 chains.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, 3 chain lane.
Hopefully we see that.
Uliostito is just looking to sneak in here, though.
Yeah, waiting up in that brush. Looking to go back. Paz, of course. We'll see whether he shoves out with this lane. Uliostito? No, he's not going to stay.
Yeah, that was smart for him to not stick around. That lane was going to be pushing in. And at the same time, it's very hard to gank a Shen. He's just going to taunt away. Unless if he looks to aggressively taunt forward, which would just be an awful idea in general. It doesn't even matter if the jungler's there. Just don't taunt forward. But yeah, it's also incredibly difficult to tower dive a Shen as well. So that's just bad idea on top of bad idea. He was probably just sitting there just to see if he could get a counter gank going. Because Echo was shoving in.
Well, Tussle is going to find Uliostito right now. Gets knocked up. Just looked like he was ignoring the Rek'Sai for the moment as Bear throws a little Zephyr over the top.
Yeah, just wanted to secure the stack. Already has 2 stacks going for him, so he's been fantastic well over this game. So he's trying to honestly play this as passively as he possibly can on the Kindred play. Yeah. Even though he knows he's in a good matchup, he doesn't want to take the risk. He's just trying to get his stacks nice and clean up until the point where he can finish up his jungle item. And maybe, probably at that point, then start looking for these dragons.
Well, at the moment, Tussle gets himself into the enemy jungle. Kindred on the bottom side, so Uliostito not going to be able to find him. This is going to be stolen away. Nice pink ward there in the brush as well, giving them a lot of topside vision, but Uliostito now looking at the dragon.
Yeah. So, yeah, it feels like right now that what they're trying to do is take down these dragons. Doesn't matter what it is. At some point, Rampage are going to have to start contesting it once it gets to maybe the 2nd or 3rd dragon.
I'm always used to getting really excited about dragons when it comes to Kindred, just because you used to build the Devourer.
Yeah.
That unfortunately just no longer exists. So I don't even know why I get excited anymore. Doesn't give you them stacks.
Even though it's Madreds now, I suppose that's what it's called. I just still call it Devourer because it's just a fantastic name.
It is.
It's very threatening.
Although Bloodraiser is a pretty cool name.
Yeah. It's too long, though.
Yeah.
Madred's Bloodraiser. I mean, it's a nice throwback. But at the same time, if you write it down, you're like, I want to stop. I want to quit writing this word.
Pretty sure it's a Hulk hand. Like, let's be real. That's what it was.
Yeah, possibly.
We're going back a little bit too far in time, though, Raz, as Roki just clears out the mid lane. Karma making her way back in. Plugo, of course, still without the flash.
Tussle's been playing really well around Roki. Of course, he's had a poor lane, or like just a matchup in general. So he's been running out of mana quite frequently. He's just trying to find a time to back properly. And, of course, now he's being given that blue buff. So at every time, Tussle has been doing well to keep Roki ahead of them in pace, in the lane. Right now, he's ahead of the Karma, which should not be happening.
Yeah, just farming up a little bit better and being able to utilize Tussle's help as far as clearing out that wave. Ricky here. Is that another Mark of the Kindred? It's a very large sound, something that was a bit confusing, as there's the Void Rush. Gets Tussle back towards his red buff. Bit of a farm alarm. But it's all pretty quiet here at 13 minutes. We know that Rampage don't like to go aggressive here in the early game. I mean, this could be just playing into their hands.
Yeah, I feel like the first sense of aggression will be coming up in this dragon area. Because Rampage generally, they don't look for much aggression, especially in this game where they are in a losing position in these lanes. So
I feel like they're often in a losing position in their lanes, Raz.
It happens a lot. But in this case, it's justifiable. And a lot of times, they just look for aggression in these dragons.
Well, Leostito going to get knocked up one more time. Remember, has the Lamb's Respite if they need it. Rampage are able to take down the Vision. Roki avoids the Mantrid Q, so a little less harass potential out of Plugo here in the mid lane, unless he can get that Mantra back up.
He must be calling for his lanes to shove up. This is going to be a nice contest on this dragon. I mean, on this blue buff.
Yeah, we'll see whether they actually give it over to Meron as well, who will have a crit shot for it. Looks like Jin will possibly be able to pick that one up. No. Actually just went to Tussle, made sure that he has the cooldown reduction. Oh, that was cheeky.
Oh, the Shen ulti, though.
Yeah, his Tussle might be in trouble, yeah.
Oh, never mind. Just kidding.
Nope,
that was the Janna shield. I am not used to Janna shielding at all.
I was going to say, it'd be really, really... like, I would give Paz some serious points for being able to stand united on an opponent. Like, that would be 10 out of 10.
It is too early in the morning, my friend.
No, forgiven. It was very, very, very cute.
I was like, wait a minute. Oh, jeez.
Well, now some pressure here on the bottom side as Tussle... He's like a bouncer this game, just heading into lanes. Like, yeah, I know you know that I'm here, but you still have to respect me.
He really does.
And he just tells them to leave, and they do.
He's been doing well for warding up the enemy jungle, which is an incredible task in and of itself since Kaos Latin Gaming have pressure in their own lanes, but it seems like they're getting pressured in their jungle. Kindred can't do much to walk out, so he did get picked off much earlier on in the sense that Tussle was able to get the hop on him.
Yep.
Put down a lot of damage, so then Kindred could not take any more skirmishes going that point forward. Couldn't even take a team fight because of how low he was. Of course, he still had ulti, but that's just you being in a losing position and picking a losing fight. So he just backed away and lost a lot for it. Tussle's been playing incredibly well early this game.
Yeah, and that is, like, it's been the early game that Rampage really need their help. So thankfully, now with the Rek'Sai in the back pocket, we'll make the 5th unique champion that Tussle has played so far here in the IWCQ.
And he only has a larger pool, surprisingly enough. Just not very viable right now in this meta. Not a lot of junglers are viable in this meta, which makes Kindred a more surprising pick. We have seen it globally a few times.
Yeah, the Trinity Force Kindred coming back.
Exactly. So he might be looking to get Trinity Force, his next item perhaps. But regardless, it's just a very risky build. Not risky build per se. It is very pricey, but it's a risky pick because you really do need to utilize the pressure that you have early.
Yeah,
team fights are very risky. You'd need to be set up in a good position to make use of it.
Well, you can see Paz still able to stand toe-to-toe with Element, even though he does have his Trinity Force complete. 160 CS as well, so it was pulled out ahead by about 12. But Paz now with some time in his lane will be absolutely fine. Wards spot out. Julio Stito moving back once again towards this bottom side, meaning that Rampage will be able to just play defensively. Be absolutely fine. Another Mantra Q to clear out the minion wave. And Plugo has been neutralizing this LeBlanc pick very effectively, despite being down in farm. It's all about making sure Roki doesn't explode on this champion.
Yeah, question right now is what is Roki going to be looking to do? I guess he's going to back. Dragon is coming up in 30 seconds. Blue buff for him is also coming up. So question is, if Rampage go towards giving Roki that blue buff, then Kaos Latin Gaming have an option to look towards this dragon, especially with the smite advantage that could be looking to come up.
Ooh, Plugo takes a fair bit of damage, misses the Q. Soroki heads back to his distortion. Julio Stito maybe doesn't want to go back to base right now. 7 seconds till the Infernal Drake comes up.
There's a lot of focus on this for Fertile Dragon. Julio Stito is trying to get pressure in this lane, just sitting down bot, but of course he just goes back to base.
Well, Roki, I believe, spotted out that pink ward. As now Bear is moving towards them. Rampage looks like they know what they want. They're ahead by a few hundred gold. Just over 1,000 actually here with nothing else happening. Just a little bit of better farm. Mostly coming out of Tussle in the jungle.
It looks like it's a second Cloud Dragon.
Ah.
It's a cloudy day.
I got a little bit confused by the picture.
Yeah, the picture's always... I mean, it looks like an Infernal Dragon. It's fairly red.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, and it just comes down to casting too many different leaks with different overlays. There's the Stand United actually coming in as Roki looking to try and lock down Plugo, but just can't. Maybe he was expecting to land that tether a little bit more effectively, but
yeah, he broke the tether once he went back to his
distortion.
So that was not going to be an option for him. I guess there was just poor communication overall because he should not have went back if Shen was going to ulti him. That would have been a good fight. But either way, they get the dragon.
Well, it's a second Cloud Drake. A third one has just entered the rift. So, one apiece. And the opportunity for that 50 flat movement speed outside of combat. The next team to pick one of these guys up.
Just a very unfortunate game to have Cloud Dragons in, especially since both teams do want to focus towards that dragon.
I feel like it'd actually be okay for Kaos Latin Gaming with their relatively kite-effective comp as Paz taking a fair bit of damage here as Oliostito wants to try and lock him down. The flash comes out. Remember, Lamb's Respite was still there. But Paz does just use the flash, gets himself to safety, and Tussle says, yeah, I would have helped you, but there's a Gromp.
Yeah. Can't stop himself from getting that Gromp. And you're right about the movement speed. It actually could help out Kaos Latin Gaming a lot in terms of, kiting back. I mean, it's actually just out of combat movement speed, but with Janna as well.
Yeah, but you're going to be kiting back for so long that you're going to be out of combat again.
Maybe.
Know what I'm saying?
Perhaps.
Yeah. It's a theory.
But in general, they can move quite quickly with that Janna pick. So engaging a fight, perhaps if they can get a pick, could be nice. Could be a nice look.
I can see Roki actually moving around, wants to put some pressure onto Plugo here. That ward is down, and Tussle's going to make his way in. They should be able to steal this one away, and Tussle grabs it with a smite. Doesn't want to give Plugo the opportunity to steal. It's now Dara and Meron moving here into the mid lane to try and get their siege happening. Remember, the arrow is available, has been for 4 levels from the Fox. They have pick potential. They have a way of getting this one done. Getting flashes when they want, so Meron does have to get out of the way.
Yeah, but this just puts Kaos Latin Gaming in a very difficult spot. They've decided, or at least Rampage has decided to look for a 1-3-1. LeBlanc shoving out that bottom lane, which means that someone's going to have to answer to it. It's going to be that Karma.
Yeah, Plugo heading down there does have a lot of wave clear, so it would make a little bit of sense. Merc treads there as well as the chains do land, so it will be helpful. 2 chains! So many chains! Don't even know what's happening here. It's like, whose chains are who? We're crossing chains. I'm really confused.
I mean, to be honest, when Shen ultied in that mid lane fight, I was trying to figure out, is that? Oh,
is that Eye of the Storm? Is that what's happening here?
I was like, okay, I guess that was Karma's chain. That's fine. LeBlanc's chain just disappeared. So,
yep.
For the audience, we're gonna have to find out. Every time a chain comes out, I want someone to just make the guess, find out who's who.
Yeah.
It's a nice mini game.
So Oliostito going to be spotted by that ward, looking to try and steal away this Gromp. As Paz will be able to possibly get the taunt here. Does so. Tussle's going to make his way in as well. There's a little bit of a dance as Oliostito bounces over the wall. And there's the flash from Tussle. Headbutt Pulverize comes in. He will have to land Respite to keep himself alive. But can he escape this? There's no flash, of course. Monsoon from Bear as he's trying to save him. The Ignite's ticking down as Dara flashes. Avoids element, but he gets exhausted. Another Pulverize. Tussle makes his way in. There are no flashes left. And First Blood goes down as Meron kills Ash. 1v1. What is going on?
Well, let's just say this. When you're in a solo queue game and your Kindred decides he's recognized on the mini-map that a stack is in the... Oh, here we go.
Okay. Plugo is just going to die as Roki gets stand united upon and Paz is going to turn up. That is 5 members in the mid lane as the Japanese team just turn it all on at the 20-minute mark. They often need time to work up to their victories, but they have got there now. 2-0, 22 minutes.
Yeah, that was just a swift 2 minutes of outplay. Not only did Jin outplay that bottom lane, the Fox, we're definitely going to be seeing how that happened.
I hope so.
In the meantime, Oliostito gets caught taking a stack in the enemy jungle. Rampage saw it. Rampage ends up looking to get him, and you're just going to find out how Marin takes this fight.
With bullets. Let's see how it is.
Oh,
he just gets curtain called. 2, 3.
And that's Deathfire Touch right there for you.
That it is.
That is just the moment you're like, okay, yeah, it's 2 HP. I'm just going to walk away from the explosion. I know I've got the kill.
I just love how he misses, like, 2 abilities, if we include one of the bullets from the curtain call and the Deadly Flourish, but it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Get the rest of them. You'll be fine.
A lot of damage, especially since he is going for a lot of armor penetration.
And that was when he only had the Ghost Blade as well, Raz. So goes back, picks up a full Dust Blade of Drakthar. That is bogus.
Now he just needs 1 bullet less to get that kill. He's going to be doing a lot of damage.
He most certainly is. Is now once again, I mean, we're moving back to what you were talking about before, that 1-3-1. Mid-wave does need to be collapsed on by the RPG bottom lane. Roki making things happen on the bottom side will be answered by Element. Plugo is going to be answering Paz towards the top side.
Yeah, so from this point forward, Kaos Latin Gaming is going to be incredibly reactive. They had that opportunity early on to start to pressure, but at this point, they have to be responding to this 1-3-1. The only opportunity that they have to make plays for themselves will be off the Fox's Ash Arrow. Anything else is honestly just playing towards kiting back and re-engaging on RPG's composition.
Well, I mean, they do have a lot of opportunity. If they do land the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, especially cross-map, I mean, that's guaranteed to stun. There's no QSSs from anyone. There's no cleanses out of anywhere. There's no oranges to be eaten, anything like that. It's Tussle looking to go aggressive, finds Element. Steals away the Wolf Camp, but Julio Stito's here. The Rek'Sai may have bitten off a little bit more than she could chew. As in goes the Fox, throws down the arrow, and stands United a little bit late, as Paz can't turn up in time.
Yeah, Tussle was far too forward trying to contest a camp that he had no pressure and ability to do so.
Yeah, distorts himself back. And Volley comes in as well. Tunnel's going to be eaten. As now Cloud Drake number 2 looks to be going Kaos Latin Gamers' way. 50 out of combat movement speed for the team that can utilize it quite effectively, if I do say so myself with my interesting analysis and point about, I just always try to justify Cloud Drakes.
Yeah, I mean, you have to try.
We have fallen through the clouds, though. It's absolutely fine. We've now found ourselves an Infernal Drake coming up next.
That's going to be a nice addition. But I do think this time around, Cloud Dragon's going to be fairly good, especially if you have the movement speed from Janna, the movement speed from Karma.
Yeah,
and
I like
from
it.
2 Cloud Dragons, you're just going to be moving around fast, very quickly.
Well, speaking of quickly, this tower is going to fall down quite fast with the Trinity Force completed already on Element, as well as Julio Stito with his Blood Razor and Phantom Dancer completed. Definitely good news as far as the items for the Kindred.
Yeah, no Trinity Force Kindred coming from him.
Yeah, it's a bit sad, isn't it? Hopefully third item, Trinity Force, am I right?
Nah, with Phantom Dancer, he's going to be fine with the boost in his DPS, and on top of that, he's going to be taking a lot less damage. So once he does go towards some damage, that's damage mitigation, but if he starts to get some more HP to him, then that's going to mean quite a bit.
Well, he's got a cheeky dagger sitting there, as well as that Hex Trinket that he just completed. So Julio Stito is going to be doing some decent damage here in these fights, as Roki was thinking about going aggressive onto Element. Parallel Convergence stops the LeBlanc from getting anything done, and Tussle just going to clear out vision once again. Looks like things have calmed down. 2,000 gold is the lead here for Rampage. That turret score has been evened out.
It's going to be a bit difficult, frustrating for Rampage to get fights going for themselves, because they do have themselves a nice team fight / pick composition. But of course, Jan is always going to be looking to disengage, and on top of that, you have that ult denial on Julio Stito. So if they can get a pick, they would have to have a much, much longer fight to really secure the kills. And it's a good thing that they have Jhin ulti to be able to get that done going for them.
Well, Stand United is back off cooldown. So Paz can make his way in. Curtain Call has been thrown down towards the top side as Fox has dodged away for the moment. Teleport comes in as Julio Stito falls before the ultimate can be used. The Fox is going to burn to death. Double kill for Roki. After it's all said and done, Plugo makes his way in. Good triple stun there from Element, but it's a triple kill for Roki on the LeBlanc. And Element and Plugo now can't find anything more. Tussle is so tanky. He's at half health, but that's still about as much as the health bar of Element. And they're looking for a Baron.
And that's just greedy play from Julio Stito to not utilize his ulti. I'm fairly certain he was not CC'd up until that point. He had that ability to do so, but just got bursted down entirely, and that's what you got to expect if you're going up against LeBlanc.
Well, Element's looking to try and come in for a pretty incredible steal if he was able to get it, but he's not. And there's the Parallel Convergence trying to at least keep these two members, Kaos Latin Gaming, alive. Good Mimic Distortion there from Roki, but not able to get any kills. Everyone has respawned. So now with the Baron buff, 5,000 gold the lead. Let's have a look at this one again.
Yeah, let's just watch Julio Stito's entire point here. Gets stunned, knocked up, doesn't have an opportunity to really use it. Only a very small moment when he was half HP. But that was really good target selection from Rampage Gaming. And not only just target selection, but just stacking of CC.
And I also really love the curtain call as well, as there's the arrow dodged out of the way with the distortion and soars past Merin at the same time. Just a bit of a lap around the rift.
Yeah, a sight to be seen.
But of course, very slippery is the LeBlanc. Can't blame the Fox for that one too much.
You definitely can. He has the reaction to just blink right back. I mean, you knew that he used distortion in the first place to get to that point. So it's you're kind of disrespecting him if you believe that he doesn't have the reaction to just press W once again.
Maybe thought that the Fox wasn't in vision range or something like that.
Yeah, that could have been it.
Well, there goes Tito. Does find the LeBlanc. Lots of damage. If that chain had landed, that would have been a lot. Procking the sigil, of course.
Yeah, so he has a lot of magic, a lot of ability to just shred magic resist with the Abyssal Scepter and the Void Staff complete. Of course, not only with the magic penetration boots on top of that.
Okay, Julius Tito is eventually going to fall down.
Well, there we go.
This is so difficult for our observers right now.
You just can't predict the future where the next pick is going to happen.
Yeah, and everyone just dies so quickly as the curtain call comes in once again. The bear is slowed down. Allengale comes in, but the curtain call is cancelled early.
They're looking to get it.
Yeah, and this inhibitor turret is falling down so fast. The teleport comes in as Plugo's caught out. Good monsoon for the disengage, but Roki comes in exhausted, so no damage to come through. The tower's going to fall down, and Rampage, they've barely used anything. They can continue the engage if they want to. Fox, no arrow to speak of. Element goes in, but doesn't find the parallel convergence.
Yeah,
when they lose their inhib and can't do anything.
Fairly ambitious for Element. They have no ability to take it. He was probably just doing camp, wasn't he? No, he was.
Caught shopping.
He just knew they was there. That was just him making a guess that he was probably doing a camp and just catch them off guard.
May have been just looking for some raptors.
Yeah, it could be.
Just hungry for some popcorn chicken. That makes some sense.
I love the fact that one of the nicknames is Popcorn Chicken. It's like the most hilarious thing to me.
That's my personal favorite. This Fox is getting out shielded. Of course, a lot of ability to prop up this Ashe. Throw on the Eye of the Storm, throw on the Inspire. Plugo and the Bear can help out, but it's just not really at a point where that's possible. He's got a BF Sword as well as his first two items in the Essence Reaver Renans. This is going to be a free Infernal Drake by the looks of things. Looks like Kaos Latin Gaming just don't feel they can contest for this one. We're nearing that 10,000 gold lead mark for Rampage, who have honestly just been in control of this game from minute one.
Yeah. Well, not exactly minute one, but definitely probably minute two.
Yeah, well, I guess it just sort of it feels like things have been going their way. You know, they've just been able to do whatever they want.
Exactly. There was that brief stint where their lanes were so strong, where they were getting shoves in every single portion of these lanes. Problem was, of course, they just didn't use Julio Cito's Kindred to really aggress into the enemy jungle, really start to make his name known. So,
Arrow.
Nah,
okay, Roki uses the Mimic, gets himself out.
I mean, you just got to expect that. He's just desperate at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had the opportunity to really disrupt Tussel's farming, but they didn't. So he just farmed up. Got a lot of pressure.
Look at what happened. He's able to walk into 3 people and doesn't care.
Exactly. He's really tanky at this portion of the game. Even has a GA. So he is not going to be the target that they even want to look for to start the fight. On
Element. Hanging out here in the mid lane. We'll see whether Paz and Roki actually want to go aggressive right now as they do find him. Element able to get himself out. Fantastic taunt. Closes the gap, and he does get snared up, but Roki unable to have the follow-up.
Yeah, Elements is fairly tanky. They're not even going to be looking for these kills, honestly. I mean, Kaos Latin Game is fairly difficult to kill with the composition that they do have, but it's also very difficult for Kaos Latin Gaming to even take these to hold these towers.
Curtain call has come in as Julio Stito slowed down, but he's able to bounce his way out. Curtain call doesn't find the majority of the bullets.
Yeah, it's very hard for KMV to even hold these towers. I mean, they can secure their own lives, but that's not going to win you the game.
No, now, especially with Element needed towards the bottom side to deal with these super creeps, now wants to start shoving this one out. He's got teleport, remember. Also, 3 items, so quite strong. Fairly tanky, Trinity Force as well as the Randu and Spirit Visage. And a decent CS lead. But Paz is a full tank Shen. Now hopefully building towards a Titanic Hydra.
Oh, that would be fun to see.
That would be the dream.
Probably can do that too, especially since of course, nothing's really going to threaten him other than should have been Julio Stito, but he does not have much damage to his name. Gonna get out traded. What? Come on, man.
He just throws so many at him and has eventually been punished as Bear throws down the Monsoon. Julio Stito has to try and get himself out. Good taunt, and Lamb's Respite does come in to save the jungler of KMV. Falls after jumping off his Respite, though. There's a decent stun opportunity, but Element just cannot get on top of it. He's knocked up forever. There's so much CC. It's a good ultimate for a fair bit of damage, but remember, he just doesn't have the AP. As Roki off to the side, he gets shut down by Element, who just does a drive-by. Picks up the kill under the mid laner. Meron now looking to try and kill the Echo, but can't find it.
Yeah, he flashed for it too. Couldn't get the last bullet off. Unfortunate. But it just feels like Rampage is just stalling on them. 100%. They don't respect them as competitors. They're going up against them, and Roki was just styling on that Ashe.
Yeah. Well, I think that punishment was necessary as well, because how many times can you try and arrow a LeBlanc before realizing that distortion is a move that you have two versions of?
Yeah. He tried twice. Distortion out of both of them. And he was like, all right, you're going to try 3 times, aren't you?
Oh, dear.
It's not a good day for this, for the Fox.
Thankfully, Tussle has been working out. He's a bit skinnier than he once was. Now Bear not going to get knocked up. Tussle able to tunnel his way out. Avoids getting tethered by Plugo. Now looking to head back home. The Baron has come back up. Julio Stito here just pushing away the Rek'Sai, but remember that Void Rush is available. He can go back, build himself up another item, possibly that Spirit Visage to come in for Tussle.
A lot of tank busting on Julio Stito's side, so they're able to, chunk down Rek'Sai, push him out, maybe possibly get visioned. But of course he has ulti.
Yeah.
Runs right back with full HP.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate as Bear does find him, doesn't get the knock up. Julio Stito heading over the side, but of course Tussle knows exactly what's going on. Spots this ward in the Baron pit as well. Dara's going to be able to clear that one out. There it is.
Tussle's just waiting on his adjacent lanes to really start to shove out, because once they can, then they can move forward and help him out. Right now, he's just on a solo mission.
Yeah, just trying to stop Julio Stito from doing anything. Deadly Flourish, unable to find the Kindred, as they have started off. The Baron curtain call comes in. Julio Stito headbutted out of the way, and Dara's just holding on to it. It is going to be Tussle grabbing the Baron there as Element gets snared up. Bear in trouble as Plugo makes his way through. Nice slow from the Mantrid Q. But Rampage, they just take a free Baron.
That was very smart from them. I was wondering why he was on that solo mission.
Action shot.
But he was just stopping Kaos Latin Gaming from walking there all together. First of all, it was a mind game. Their jungler's not doing Baron, then of course they're not doing Baron. Wait a minute. Where's the rest of the team?
Doing Baron!
Well, we got to stop them.
Well, they didn't. And now Kaos Latin Gamers have to once again try and defend against this Baron. Element gets Dust Bladed. Avoids the damage though, just because he is very, very tanky. Can hold on for the moment. Roki just splitting on the top side. Paz doing the same on the bottom side. They're moving this Baron throughout the lanes. Eye of the Storm, I don't think will be enough to deal with this. It's a 13,000 gold lead, Raz.
You definitely need a champion to stop Roki, not a shield on the tower. He's just going to be massively just bonking on that tower. The best thing about LeBlanc split pushing is the fact that his auto attacks, her auto attacks are very elegant, but they just demolish the tower. Like every auto attack is like, oh, there goes one ace of that damage.
Dainty little auto attack.
Yeah, exactly.
It tears it apart, but this inhibitor turret is going to fall down. Tussle taken down to about half health. There's the distortion as Arrow sails by majestically. Now KMV in trouble as Julio Stito throws down the Lance Respite. Can they get onto this circle? But it looks like Rampage, they're going to get there first, and it's going to be Tussle grabbing an instant double kill. Now looking for more, as remember he's got the GA. He's going to proc it now as the Fox. Over the side, curtain call comes in. Element possibly in trouble as Maron just cancelled it immediately. Good headbutt forwards. There's the Mimic Distortion. The burn to death on the Fox as Ashe just disintegrates. And Element desperately trying to deal with the creep wave, but Baron is going to help them be gigantic. And Plugo is going to get stunned forever. Makes it onto the fountain eventually as these Nexus turrets are going to fall down. The Nexus to follow. And Rampage pick themselves up their second victory of the IWCQ.
Definitely a must-win for them. They definitely needed that if they wanted to be able to challenge the top 4, get into the playoff round, but they just need to win from here on forward.
Yeah, almost every single game is going to be necessary. Of course, we're sitting on 1 and 3 moving into this match. Now 2 and 3 can still get to that dream 4 and 3 scoreline if they can win their next couple of games throughout the next couple of days. But Rampage, I mean, still looking pretty pensive at the moment, understanding that it is still an uphill battle here for these guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, they needed to make some changes to really get further, to improve in this tournament. Not only throughout the statistics, not only throughout the actual games themselves, but they just needed to improve in terms of how they play out their early games, and we saw that. Tussle was able to not only, yeah, sure, Rek'Sai was a great pick for him because not only was he able to have that relevance much later on in the team fights, but his relevance early on in the game was fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. It was actually just being an invading jungler on the Rek'Sai against a Kindred, which is not something you were expected being able to say, and Julio Stito just didn't have his early game that we actually expect from him. So we have a look at some of the highlights as Meron doesn't quite find that particular ability, but just throw down the curtain call.
He had Ashe ulti. The Fox had Ashe ulti. This is actually kind of sad because he had a ward on Jin's position. You don't even need a ward on Jin's position.
No,
you just throw your Jin ulti.
I mean,
you just throw Ashe ulti and you can stop Jin from ulting. So he probably just didn't expect the fact that he would get bursted down on. I thought he could juke one side and another, but just do it. Just why not? So yeah,
he may as well not die, I think.
So I just don't think his proficiency on Ashe is really like. Look at this. That was even the observer did not expect him to come back for that kill. Obviously, how could you?
Yeah.
But yeah, he got outplayed on the Ashe pick today. It was not his day.
It was certainly not. But Rampage did look good. It hit 20 minutes, and they were able to just turn it on. They picked up a tower. They picked up some kills. They were diving turrets. They knew what they could get after. Honestly, it felt like it was a bit of a bait and switch maneuver because it seemed to me like we were just going to have a stalemate throughout the early game, moving into the mid, moving into the late, but it was Rampage that were able to find their engages, find what they needed, and dealt with Kaos Latin Gaming relatively easily by the end of this one. As we can have a look, this is the instant tussle double kill. There's just so much CC coming out of Rampage, what with the knockups from a Rek'Sai and an Alistar.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that best game for Meron I've seen this tournament. He played out of his mind, and not only Meron, but Roki showed that his laning efficiency with this LeBlanc was incredible, but he was always able to help out the rest of his map as well. And he just showed just mechanics. Like legitimately, he just outplayed Ashe at every venture. So, yeah, great game for him.
It was very, very impressive. And what I actually want to talk about a little bit more is the fact that Rampage looked on the same page the entire game. They actually have throughout this tournament. It's just they haven't been able to find quite the amount of proactive plays, especially early on, that we've been wanting from the team. So they have been falling behind. But they have just been so coordinated. So many of their plays this game just felt like everyone was on the same page. They knew what they needed to do. We just need to see more of it, Raz.
Yeah, exactly. And so one of the biggest points for them was that they needed to play their early game a lot better. And I think Tussle needed to have a lot more pressure or presence early, and he really did, definitely. So now the lanes do really showcase a lot more.
Yeah.
Now, Roki can show that he's not only proficient in his lane, but much, much later on, where, yeah, he's got a great pick for himself, but even if he's in a poor matchup, his jungler can just really help him push out the lane and back.
Yeah, exactly right. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for that game. We are going to take a short break, but when we get back, it's going to be the undefeated Lion Gaming taking on the Chiefs. Don't go anywhere.